No matter what I've been through, no matter how broken I thought I was, I always thought like, oh, I have potential. And once I got off the drugs, I realized how much potential I have.
Serenity Mesa is a treatment center specifically designed for young people. Anyone from across the state of New Mexico can come to Serenity Mesa. The only thing that's required is that they are struggling with a substance abuse. We work with them for about 90 days on their substance use. If they're under 18, there's really no other substance abuse treatment programs like ours. I would say 98% of our clients have housing insecurity.
Substance use and mental health and the way those things work together is probably the biggest kind of underlying factor as to not only what is sort of causing, quote unquote, causing a young person to become on the streets, but what's also like sort of keeping them in that place. It's not necessarily a way to get high, but it's a way to get by.
Well, I'm not really from anywhere because I've been in like the system. I come from an alcoholic family. My mom and dad were always like off and on together up until I was 5 when she died in a car accident from drinking and driving. After that, like, my dad wasn't able to take us in. We became homeless in school. I have a little brother and I haven't seen him in like a year because we got separated. Like, he's the only person that's been with me my whole life. He means like everything to me. So I'm here to fix myself so that I can properly take care of him.
The last 2 years, it's been worse than I've seen it since we opened. I mean, we are averaging 2 to 3 referrals a day. We have 14 beds, and so our beds stay pretty full all the time. They're using harder core drugs, so they're using drugs like fentanyl, which are very, 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 very difficult to get off of.
I ran away my first time in 2019, and I became homeless. I started with meth, and then from meth, I went to cocaine, and then from cocaine, I went to fentanyl. And it was a really fast thing. It was a really fast process. Yeah, heroin's bad. Every drug's pretty bad, but I've never met such a drug so addictive. It was like the devil.
And so I know of several youth who are getting to a point where they want to make changes in their life, but they physically are dependent on the drug, so they literally use it just so that they don't get sick.
I think that's the worst part of the addiction. I remember trying to get clean, go cold turkey, and I couldn't. I would just pick up another pill.
There's some people who can use heroin for years and years and years. That is not how you would be using fentanyl.
I mean, really, it seems like either you stop using it or you die. Like, those are like the only options.
Sadly, it doesn't happen, but if it does happen, they'll always put them in the memorial garden. We recently had another resident here pass away a couple days after she was here. Never touched fentanyl, wasn't here for fentanyl, and then left, did fentanyl for once, she was gone.
That's her.
Sorry, Leah.
Yeah.
When my son was 16, he was hurt in a wrestling accident and was prescribed Percocet. He ultimately got addicted to opiates and then was addicted to heroin. I had this notebook with just phone numbers that I was calling. There wasn't an effective resource guide that I could find of treatment places. There wasn't anything for under 18. And I had a really good job and I had really good insurance and I still couldn't get him into treatment. He ultimately ended up passing away of a heroin overdose when he was 18. We do a lot of kind of out-of-the-box programming when it comes to young people and substance use.
Get excited or
So they work out at least an hour a day. We have a housing program, so if they do need a place to live after they leave here, we work with them on providing stable housing. We have a high school education program, so if they don't have their high school diploma, they can be enrolled in school.
Usually you're treated like you're in a hospital, but here they treat you like
A person.
Yeah.
The opposite of addiction is not sobriety, it's connection.
Well, it's kind of hard for me actually to just be in one place for long because I was moving every couple weeks or a week. So, but the hardest thing about it was meeting people and becoming friends with people and then leaving them. Like, I never had friends before, and until I came here, and we're trying to better our lives, and that's just like perfect. She was sleeping. People are my family.
Definitely.
And because, I don't have a family, so like it really hits hard. Like that's why I have so much respect for this place, and so I try my hardest because of how much they've changed my life.
Yeah.
We see them, and we see them as throwaways. We see them as bad people because, yes, they may have committed crimes, or, well, they must have done something terrible. That's why they're living on the streets. And most of the time, it's not that. Most of the time, it is mental health, or it is substance use, or it's something that was beyond their control that caused them to live on the streets. And once you get them kind of back on the right track, you would never know that that's what the life that they were living. You would never know because they look just like me and you.
This because it's just kind of how I feel inside. Like I've been through a lot since maybe I was born. So like this has been probably the hardest thing I've had to deal with. You're just handling everything sober and it's hard. There's a reason that people, kids like me, do things. Like you can't just look at the behavior and the situation as it is. You have to look deeper into it and figure out what the actual problem is instead of telling them you're a bad kid or you're this, because there's a reason for everything.
Just crazy because I never thought like, oh, I'm gonna be this committed to sobriety, but then I am.
I'm terrified. I really am because I know how this world is. So, but I know there is going to be a time where I'm going to relapse, but I'm going to keep trying. Topic that we work on in group. Once I turn 18, I'm going to try to get custody of my little brother. He's never seen me like for who I am today. I've experienced things and I'm learning from them, and I'm just like a whole new person. Yeah. But I'm glad it happened because it's where I am now. And I've learned a lot from everything that happened.